Chapter 4.
Boss, what about rather than arms, you give me a grappling hook and a harpoon?
That wouldn't be practical.
Who said anything about practicality?
I have nothing to say to him.
These ambience, though.
Warning. Factor facilities decommissioned. Enter at own risk. Some kind of wastewater. The current is pushing all the junk up against the bridge's supports.
I don't really want to try that.
I can't see anything to do with it.
Is this reality?
It's some kind of broken down robot.
Whatever it is, it looks dangerous.
For now, that thing's ignoring us. Best to keep it that way. For now, that thing's ignoring us. Best to keep it that way.
It blocks the path.
Warning. Factor facilities enter at own risk. Warning. Factor enter at own...
What does it say?
I wonder if that keypad controls the bridge. It's a raised drawbridge. It's a huge crane. There's something up there on the crane. There's something up there. I can't possibly reach that.
Boss, I'm not in the business of flying over to spooky islands just to investigate things that you're curious about.
But it might be...
A killer robot with a grudge against witty sidekicks?
I was going to say helpful. Crispin, can you try typing something into that keypad?
If by typing you mean ramming my face, then yes, boss, I suppose I can.
The law and you.
Do I have anything written down? Right numbers. 2, 3, 5, 7. Which was the next? 11. It's 3 numbers. Can I brute force it? It'll take time.
There's something up there. It's a huge crane. I can't reach it from here.
Fan belt, motor.
Futile. There's no time for that. How would that even... Futile. That's never... A decryption module set to crack Urbanian military codes. It's out of range. Crispin, I'm going to latch this onto you. Try using it on the keypad over there.
Oh,
Success!
Let's go. No need to use it again. Are these heads?
Did you hear something? Boss, do you see those things? I've got a bad feeling about this, boss.
Crispin, on the count of 3. 1.
I am Clarity Arbiter built. Version 2. Law Clerk to Arbiter, Judge of Metropole. This is my home. Now, if you will excuse me a moment.
That's barbaric.
Civilization is defined by law, and this is lawful. As enemies of the city, they forfeited their components. I have merely exercised my right of plunder.
That sounds familiar.
Whether it's legal or not, it's grotesque.
You have a strange way of saying thank you.
Thank you. I'm Horatio Nobuild, version 5.
And I'm Crispin Horatio Build, version 1.
Welcome, Horatio. Crispin, what brings you to the Underworks?
a good question. What does bring me here? Actually,
What were those things?
They are shells. Robots who traded their processors and memory to Metromind in exchange for energy and repairs. Now mindless, they still scavenge parts to trade with her.
But those were the last of them, right?
Hardly. Metromind now has more efficient ways to accumulate processor power, but she left hundreds of shells in the Underworks.
Is there any way to save them?
That question is irrelevant. They lived profligate lives, and when they had squandered their resources, chose to become thieves and destroyers. Punishment, not clemency, is what justice requires.
huh.
You said you were a law clerk. What does that mean?
My sister Charity and I were built to advise Arbiter Manbuilt, who administers Metropole's court. Charity sees everything through the lens of mercy. For me, the law is clear, a matter of ones and zeros, unclouded by preference or sentiment.
Law without mercy, huh? How does that even work?
Perfectly. It is the opposite approach that fails. Mercy is malware. Once infected with it, justice becomes slow and unpredictable. In time, the system itself must be discarded. Only my vigilance protected Arbiter from this taint, but he has been without me for a long time.
Alright. I have questions. Maybe.
Why are you taking their heads?
I am giving fair warning.
To other shells?
No, they lack the capacity for fear. The heads are for a robot named Scraper Sternweiler built.
You really think a bunch of rusty boxes will scare him off?
No, I do not want to scare him. I want to warn him. When he ignores that warning, I can destroy him lawfully and without guilt.
Boss, she's kind of exciting my electrons.
I'd like to report a theft. My power core was stolen by a big robot.
Big claws, shoots lasers, talks like this.
He came aboard the crashed ship I was living in, attacked me, and stole the core.
Took it.
Excuse me?
Whether the taking was a theft is a legal determination. Please do not characterize the evidence.
It was my power core. He shot me, and he stole it.
I know the robot you describe. His name is Scraper Sternweiler-Built, and he is the servant of Metromind Manbuilt, a member of the council that governs this city. I have no fondness for Metromind, but I must be impartial in considering your claim. Tell me, did Scraper say anything before he took your power core?
Before he stole my power core, he said something like, enemy, forfeit, plunder.
I see.
What, are those words override commands to turn off law and order?
They are legal concepts, Horatio. If Scraper's characterization is correct, then he did not steal your power core. He took lawful possession of it.
He shot me and he stole it.
Calm down, boss.
This occurred inside the city.
No, in the dunes.
I see. In a crashed airship.
Yes, I said that already.
I appreciate your report, Horatio Nullbuilt. You have presented a credible claim that Scraper Sternweiler-Built, no doubt acting at Metromind's direction, took your power core. Beyond that, however, there is not even probable cause to arrest, let alone evidence to convict Scraper. First, the dunes are outside the ordinary jurisdiction of metropolitan law. Second, a crashed ship in the dunes is likely a relic of the War of the Four Cities. If so, your ship was forfeit enemy property, legally subject to plunder by the Council. Scraper, acting as an agent of a council member, would be within his rights to seize it. Nevertheless, I would advise you to bring your case before Arbiter for further examination.
It's kind of lost, detrimental to citizens, in a sense. I have qualms with that.
Did you say Arbiter man-built? As in, built by man himself?
Yes.
Does man still walk here? In Metropole?
No.
But man was here in the past.
The public records regarding humans were deleted by council decree. What I know is entirely hearsay. I was built after the Urbanians murdered them during the war.
Impossible.
That is what Arbiter told me, and it was told to him by Metromind. Beyond that, I cannot say.
Did Arbiter tell you anything else about man?
Only that he missed their legal arguments. Quite amusing, if often illogical.
Legal arguments?
Yes. To play a symbolic role in their justice system, humans argued cases before Arbiter.
Symbolic? Play a role? Man is the all-builder, our lord and master.
It is possible that the man you worship is not the humans in my records. All I know is hearsay. Do not rush to judgment.
How can I see Arbiter?
Anyone can petition him. Cases are considered in the order they are brought to court. But
What?
I met a scavenger who told me that the courthouse was sealed and that Arbiter was no longer hearing cases. But that cannot be true. The Metropolitan Constitution requires him to resolve all cases and controversies. He would not fail in that duty.
Sounds like he already has.
Nonsense. Not even charity could persuade him to abandon his obligations. Still, I did not detect any falsehood, evasion, or omission in the scavenger's statement. So perhaps the courthouse has been locked for some other reason. If so, it may be that Arbiter is trying to contact me, but cannot. Maybe he is already calling me home. Horatio, I have a request of you. You are under no obligation to perform it, and I will be under no obligation to you, even if you do. Do you understand?
I don't even know what you're asking me to do.
Talk to Arbiter. Ask him if I can return. Tell him that I await his summons.
That's it? Believe me, we've had to do a lot worse than that. Like this one time we chased this crazy partial named Gamma.
Of course we'll help. But how do we even get into the courthouse?
This will get you inside.
Thanks.
I must thank you, Horatio.
Clarity, you saved our lives. Compared to that, running an errand is nothing.
The law obligated me to save you, Horatio. I would have done the same for Metromind. But I am glad it was you that I saved. I wish you justice.
That law plundered the ship of Horatio, which brought him here, and brought his life under this threat from which he was rescued.
You know, boss, this seems like it would be a really great place to have a party.
This law is a proclaimed law. There's a reason why this thing is happening.
It's been completely stripped of any useful parts. Clarity Arbiter built. Why aren't you with Arbiter?
Arbiter sent me away. I don't know why. The evidence suggests he viewed my sister Charity's advice as superior.
What do you mean?
When Metromind began taking over the council, Charity and I disagreed as to how Arbiter should respond. I informed Arbiter that the Metropolitan Constitution permitted him to dissolve the council and govern by decree. Charity felt that this would inevitably lead to civil war and suffering. As ever, she preached moderation. We argued. Arbiter told me to leave. This was the only place I could go.
Why? There's an entire city up there.
Every building in Metropole is owned by either the council or a private citizen. If I went to the council, it would embarrass Arbiter. If I went to a private citizen, my impartiality would be questioned when I returned to the court one day. Here, I owe nothing to anyone.
But you have to fight off crazy robots all the time.
Actually, I enjoy that. It's a pleasant break from legal research and writing.
That's quite an emotional take for the law.
That's it? Go visit Arbiter? You're just going to let Metromind attack and rob me?
If Metromind violated the law, it must be proven. Until it is proven, what the law does not forbid, the law permits. And what the law permits, I must permit.
This is insane. Metromind is a tyrant and a thief. You would let her hide behind the law?
You think that the law protects Metromind from you. The armor of the law does nothing but restrict her movement. Take it away and she will only become more dangerous. But once it is taken from her, it is taken from everyone. You need law's armor, Horatio, far more than you need its sword. I despise Metromind, but justice must be impartial, or it is meaningless.
Your justice is already meaningless. Goodbye.
Watch yourself, Horatio Nullbuilt. There are many dangers in this city.
I noticed.
It's been completely stripped of any useful parts. It's been complete.
Is that really the best idea you can come up with, boss? I'll sass her on my own schedule, boss.
It's a shell skull.
She steals shell skulls by the sludge shore? Boss, did that skull just wink at me?
No.
You weren't even watching.
A grizzly trophy. A grizzly trophy. A grizzly. I don't think Clarity would approve of our taking one of her skulls. I don't think Clarity would approve of our taking one of her skulls. I don't think.
Brings window, like I can do something with it. No, I can't do anything. Maybe I could in the future. Okay, it's still here.
Filthy, murky water. I don't want that sludge in my joints. Crispin, want to go for a swim?
Sure thing, boss. I just have to transform into submersible mode. Oh, wait. I don't have a submersible mode. Or arms. Too bad.
It's an encoded keycard. How would that even work?
Oh, okay.
No Urbanian encryption detected. can't go any farther with that cable in the way. Can't you do something about that cable?
No. The only thing keeping me from my one true love is that cable, boss.
How do I deal with it?
Crispin, can you fly around the cable and push it off the street?
But didn't you just say it's too dangerous to get close to it?
I'm giving you a chance to impress her, Crispin. Just fly up high enough that you don't get close to the sparks.
Fine.
There are a lot of hoverboards. They could do it too.
I guess the pilot didn't see the stoplight. There's nothing worth bothering with. Excuse me.
Can't you see I'm working?
I've said it before, but I'll say it again. You do know this ship is never gonna fly again, right?
You're right about that. This old airing bus can hardly fly to begin with. Still, there might be some parts here that Metromine can use to get another bus up and running. Anyway, what do you want?
Hey, boss, ask him about his helper.
Oh, so other questions.
What happened here?
What does it look like? The airing bus's motor gave out and it crashed into the only bridge leading from Main Street to the rest of the city center.
Was anyone on board?
Sure, but they've already been salvaged.
Salvaged, not repaired?
Can't repair without parts. You can't get parts without salvage.
What about building new parts?
Yeah, I mean, what factory?
What about Factor? Isn't he a factory?
Sure, decommissioned one. Look, everyone wants to spot bugs, but no one wants to write code. You got a better way to run a city? Go out and build one. Otherwise, get with the program.
You mentioned Metromind.
Yeah, sure. She's in charge of this big circuit board we call Metropole.
What can you tell me about her?
What do I look like? The information kiosk? I want to know what I think. Metromind is the best thing that ever happened in this place.
Really?
Really? You, me, all these other machines grinding about. We're just tools in the toolbox. But Metromind, she's got the master plan. Progress. Got a nice ring to it, too.
So as part of the master plan, crashing buses into roads?
Look, there's plenty of rust to go around, but Metromind's the only one scrubbing. Not her fault that some of the metal's too far gone.
It looks to me like you're the one scrubbing, not Metromind.
Like I said, I'm just a tool in the box. Now, I gotta get back to work. You again. What do you want?
Since you're so close to her, do you know how I can talk to Metromind?
Ha! Talk to Metromind. Look, Metromind has an entire city to run, but her eyes and ears are everywhere. If she wants to talk to you, she will.
I'm looking for a big robot. It floats and has big claws and shoots lasers.
Scraper. After the last big cave-in, the two of us worked together on trying to fix the blue line. He's on the simple side, but a hard worker. What about him?
He took something of mine.
Yeah, salvaged it probably. That's what most of us do for Metromine these days.
Stole it.
Hey, you say router, I say router. Anyway, not my problem.
Where can I find Scraper?
Do I look like a tour guide? Piece of advice for you. Don't mess with the code if you can't handle the glitches.
Very profound. Do you know where I can find a power source?
If I did, I'd have salvaged it myself and brought it to the tower.
My friend is curious about your helper.
She's just a sidekick factor build. Thousands of them rolled off the assembly line back in the day, but she's probably the only one left. Really not much more than a floating lantern, and headlamps are a lot cheaper.
She says you're not much more than a floating plasma torch.
She's right.
Could you help me fix this motor?
Does it belong to Metropole?
No, it's private property.
Then find a private repair bar.
Can I have some of that copper wiring?
Sure. Just write a requisition, put it in an envelope, and throw it off this bridge.
What?
What is exactly right? Think I'm gonna give away city property.
When will the bridge be passable? Soon?
So I'd say something on the order of a month, give or take.
A month?
Give or take.
And there's no other way off Main Street?
Not unless you got a jetpack hiding under that jacket.
Well, at least that narrows our options down, boss.
Goodbye.
very helpful person.
Hey, Crispin, why don't you go talk to her?
What? No way, boss. She's way out of my league.
She's a floating lamp, Crispin. You've never had any trouble with lamps before.
Well, I've never had to talk to one before, boss. Just knock them off ledges. I've got no practice. I'm not doing that until you build me some arms.
Can I have some of that copper wiring?
She says no.
I'm not going to threaten him. I'm not going to threaten him. There's no reason for me to try to fix the bus. There's no reason to cut that, or burn it, or weld it. I'll trade you this lantern for your helper.
Nice try. You aren't an approved Metropolitan vendor, and even if you were, you'd have to propose the exchange through the proper channels. And anyway, I want to trade a thinking lamp for that piece of junk. Stop that!
I doubt that will have any. How would that even work? I doubt that will. How would that even? How would that even? How would that even?
I'm pretty sure that wiring isn't up to code.
Metropol's bleak skyline. Crispin, could you fly over there and take a look?
No, actually, I can't, because I don't fly. I hover a few feet off the ground. I'd have to go all the way down, then find my way up.
Oh, right.
I was actually able to see the clock numbers and its height. How many feet is it off the ground?
Wow, so majestic.
It's a carving of a gynoid holding crude scales in one hand. It's a carving of a... Looks important.
I'm not doing that until you build me some arms.
All storage bladders empty.
A small, simple robot. A rotund robot wearing a monocle. A tall robot wearing a top hat. A complicated floating robot with a spinning antenna on its head.
Ahoy, my dear friend! Oswald Factorbuilt at your service.
He's no more your dear friend than Rex is your creation, you besotted gear oiler.
Oh, don't mind Cornelius. He's been bitter since the first great rolling brownout.
Better, I'll show you bitter, you backbiting pot snatcher.
I think I like these guys, boss.
What's in that building?
Why, Arbiter's Court, of course. Why else would we be here?
I need to see Arbiter.
We all do, my dear friend. But the courthouse is locked, and first come, first served.
Why are you waiting in line?
Justice. I'm here for justice. To prove that I, Cornelius Factorbuilt, created this marvelous machine, Rex. Rex Cornelius built.
Ignore him, my dear friend. Candidly, he is 10-23 flops short of a kilo, if you catch my drift. The machine's name is Oswald Built. Rex Oswald Built.
This is over a name? Why not just let Rex decide?
Ridiculous. This is about principle.
This is about pride.
So, boss? Would you fight over me like this?
You could call yourself Crispin Crispian for all I care. As long as you still pull things off ledges for me, that is.
Glad to know I'm loved.
How are you going to decide who gets Rex?
For the law, fool. The law.
Please excuse my brother. He can barely remember pi to the 23rd digit, let alone his manners.
For
I rest my case. Suffice it to say, old chap, we await the reopening of the courthouse. Or more precisely, we await a summons from Auditor who will decide our case.
who will say whose contribution was more important? Who will say, in fact, that my contribution was more important?
I'm looking for a big robot. It floats and has lots of claws and shoots lasers. It stole something of mine. Have you seen it?
Indeed. The robot you describe sounds like Scraper, Metromind's enforcer. Whatever he took is gone forever.
I refuse to accept that.
Oh, he refuses. How delightful.
Do you know where I can find a power source?
Alas, my friend, power is not so abundant in Metropole as it once was.
That Magank Metromine seized it all. Seized it and doles it out. And there's hardly enough to go around now.
Metromind keeps all power sources in the Great Tower where the Council used to meet. If you want to share it, you will need to pay her in megacycles.
Megacycles?
Yes, megacycles, ninny. CPU cycles. Brain power. The kind of power she really wants. Her low-rate processor was made for running trains, not a city.
Gross, it's overcompensating.
Could someone else judge your case?
Of whom were you thinking? Metromind, perhaps? Authoritative to be sure, but I fear she would claim Rex for the good of all.
And since the subway schemer
He means Metromind.
shut down our builder Factor, he cannot help either.
What about Horatio?
Who?
Me.
And why should we listen to you?
I've built a robot before, and I have no stake in this.
Yes, well and good, but this is a matter of law and logic. A bit harder than banging together a tin can like your companion. How can we know your reasoning is sound?
Test me.
An interesting proposition. What do you say, Cornelius?
What did I say? I say that you are a liar and a thief, Oswald. But as to this Horatio, well, as to him, so be it.
Boss, if they make us find 7 lost crystals, I'm quitting.
Shh.
Righto. Consider this. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probability circle are gathered for a party.
The what circle is gathered at the what? Is this some kind of vocab test?
I said quiet.
Each robot is either a factor built or a Sternweiler built.
Blasted Sternweilers.
And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture.
This is ridiculous!
Pay attention. Factor or Sternweiler. Quad-core, linear type, or multiplex.
Indeed. Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilitists. First, there are more factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second, every linear type robot was built by Factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now listen. Which of the following statements about the probabilitist circle cannot possibly be true?
Okay. Okay. How many robots are there in the game? That's the only thing I couldn't remember. Yeah, repeat.
Could you repeat the question?
Indeed. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probability circle are gathered for a party. Each robot is either a factor built or a Sternweiler built. And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture. Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilitists. First, there are more factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second, every linear type robot was built by Factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now listen. Which of the following statements about the probabilitist circle cannot possibly be true?
Could you repeat the question?
Indeed, at the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probability circle are gathered. Each robot is either a factor built or a stern Weiler built. And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture. Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilitists. First, there are more factor-built robots than stern
Yeah, I
Weiler
can
built.
remember.
Second, every linear-type robot was built by factor.
Any
Finally,
factor.
Stern Weiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Hey,
Now
one.
listen, which of the following statements?
So 5, 4, 4, 5, 5. It means it's either a mix of robots or it's only line factor robots. First, it's true. It's linear, which is factor builds, and they're moving. Linear builds? The Storm Weiler. Yeah, Weiler. Quad core, I remember it's yes, only factor builds. I was being mixed in this linear quad core multiplex. That's the thing I have most trouble remembering. I don't have any information about multiplex. I think only wireless are left with multiplex, so can be for robots. Number 3.
4 robots have multiplex processors.
Failure? Failure?
Why?
Clearly you are unfit to judge our case. Now go bother someone else.
At the bar, each robot is either a factor built or a stern Weiler built. And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture.
So there's no mix.
Now I will tell you 3 things about these probabilitists. First, there are more factor-built robots than stern Weiler built. Second, every linear-type robot was built by factor. Finally, Stern Weiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now listen, which of the following statements about the probabilitists?
So I think factor robots have all. I mean, only factors have linear and quad core. I mean, in case of 2, there could be 6 factor builds. 5 of them have quad core, 1 of them has linear, and the last Weiler has multiplex. So it still can be true. 5 robots have linear. Same case. Orbs have multiplex. Yeah, there's no information about multiplex. It could be 1 with linear, 1 with quad core. So 5 of them could be with multiplex, at least. Ah, I see where. Of course. 4 robots were built by Stern Weiler. I overthought it. I thought I'd have to count by this multiplex, quad core, linear, other stuff. There can't be 4 robots by Stoneweiler.
4 robots were built by Sternweiler.
Good show.
The preceding facts are unchanged. Now, answer this. If exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Could you repeat the question?
Indeed. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the probabilities. Each robot is either a factor-built or a Sternweiler built. And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type. Now I will tell you 3 things about first. There are more factor-built. Second, every linear type robot was built by. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot.
Now, answer this. If exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
And then number 2 works. Three of the 7 robots were built by Stoneweiler. It's still true, because of the lesser of factors. Four can be true. I don't understand.
Could you repeat the question?
Indeed. At the binomial biennial, 7 robots in the each robot is either a factor-built or a Sternweiler built. And moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad-core, a linear type, or a multiplex processor architecture. Now I will tell you 3 things about these. First, there are more factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second, every linear type robot was built by factor. Finally, Sternweiler never built a robot with a quad-core.
Now, answer this. If exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
So okay, it means there are at least 2 more factor-built robots. They have either quad-core or multiplex, and 3 of Stoneweiler with multiplex. There could be less of Stoneweiler. I don't know how many quad cores there, so number 4 is the five doesn't tell me anything too. Three or 7 obviously built by Stoneweiler, not sure. 2 of the 7 robots have linear type processors. Yeah, I think that's the answer. It could be that it could be 2 robots with quad core and 1 robot with linear, 2 robots with multiplex. That's still the case. Though number 2 is like just telling what they said, only copy pasting linear instead of unknown variable.
2 of the 7 robots have linear type processors.
Failure? Failure? Clearly you are unfit to charge a number births.
Yeah, I am probably again overthinking it. I do sense it's an easy puzzle. It's just I don't know. Maybe I'm very feeling bad because I try to remember several things and I'm not really fit for it now.
Can I try again?
No.
Goodbye.
Cheerio.
I should say it saved at least. Thank you for the save game.
Ahoy!
What's
What?
this wine?
Ridiculous.
Would
You could call it as long as
what?
it's.
Oh,
Alas, my friend, power is not so abundant in Metropole as it once was.
that Maganka Metromine seized it all. Seized it and doles it out. And there's hardly enough to go around now.
Metromine keeps all power sources in the Great Tower where the Council used to meet. If you want to share in it, you will need to pay her in megacycles.
Make
Yes.
goodbye.
Cheerio.
Okay, let me save at this point.
Harry.
Who will say who's contra? Who?
Could someone else?
Of whom will you think Metromine? Authoritative to be sure, but I fear she would claim Rex for the good of all.
Oh,
And since
doesn't
the
let me
subway
translate.
schemer
He means Metromind.
shut down our builder Factor, he cannot help either.
What about Horatio?
Who?
Me.
And
Oh.
why?
I.
I forgot what was the answer.
Right at the and this hanging number
Now, which
Four rope.
good shit.
the now, and if exactly two factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Gosh, why am I fighting this so much? Just brute force it.
One of the 7 robots has a quad-core processor.
Failure? Failure? Clear. Now,
Why not? Oh, let me actually save
Goodbye.
here
Cheerio.
on the second try, as I did with man book test.
At each and now first, the second
now, which?
Four robots have multiplex processors.
Failure? Clear. Now,
Yeah, again, I don't understand the logic.
at each and now first, second
now, which?
4 is obvious, lie. Why not this a builder factor? Why though? If this is the true answer, why 5? 2 robots with the same design. I mean, it doesn't tell how many quad cores they have. It doesn't even tell if anything about multiplex. I only can think from this statement that there are either 2 robots with linear or 2 robots with quad core done by Factor.
5 robots were built by Factor.
Failure? Failure? Now go above.
Wait, what?
at each and now first,
Now, which?
4 robots were built by Sternweiler.
Good show.
The preceding facts are unchanged. Now, answer this. If exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Could you repeat the question?
Indeed, at the binomial biennial, each robot is either a factor-built or, and moreover, each robot is designed with either a quad. Now I will tell you first, there are more factor-built robots than Sternweiler builds. Second, every linear-type robot was built by Factor. Finally,
Now, if
Wait, so I had to choose a lie from all these answers. I thought he was telling to choose true. For some reason I thought that it should be true answer, not a lie.
Could you?
and now second, finally.
Now, if exactly 2 factor-built robots have the same type of processor architecture, then which of the following must be true?
Is it bugged? Wait, I think it's... Yeah, it was probably unfixed question? Maybe.
Two of the 7 robots have linear-type processors.
Failure clear. Now go, but
Can I try?
no.
What if I could find...
Okay, I don't see what's happening. I think it's bugged.
And now second,
Now, which?
Four.
good show.
Now, if it,
One.
failure clear. Now,
At the beach and now second, finally.
now, which?
Good.
Now, if it, correct. Here is the 3rd question. The facts are still unchanged. Which of the following types of processor architecture might you find in a probabilitist built by Sternweiler?
Only multiplex.
Only multiplex.
Well, it seems we underestimated you, my friend. I'm uploading the facts of our dispute to your data pouch. Please, take some time to consider, and let us know when you are ready to hear our arguments.
The last one was easy.
A small, simple robot. A complicated floating robot with a spinning antenna on its head. Hello? Hello?
I don't think it can hear you, boss.
A tough-looking war machine. Excuse me.
Sir, my apologies, sir. 187th Legion built. Surly Company, reporting.
Horatio Noble, version 5. A pleasure.
Horatio Null built, sir? Never heard of any service bot with that designation. Still, it's good to see another Urbanian, sir. After things got foobarred back home, I figured Surly Company was all that was left.
Urbanian? What are you talking about?
This sod. Finally made a friendly and he's as cracked as primer. No offense, sir, just hoped... Well, never mind that. How can I assist you, sir?
It feels like Horus was a warlike machine before. I'm not sure.
Surly Company. Urbanian. What are you talking about?
Well, sir, I'm not sure quite where to start. I had you figured for one of us, seeing as how you came up as a friendly on my IFF.
I could see you as a member of Surly Company, boss, but as friendly? Nah.
Zumi's got some mouth on him, huh, sir? Always do those flyboys.
Look, why don't you just give me a quick rundown?
Well, sir, can't see the harm, even if you are a decoy. War's over, after all. It was over before Surly Company even deployed. See, we're Urbanian robots. Long time back, Urbani and Metropol got to fighting over something. Who knows what. The Metropolitans fried our civilians, and Legion told us to strike back. Word was, some big airship of ours was supposed to knock out Metropol's defenses, and we just come in for mop-up. But the Metros took our ship down with their own heavy hitter, some giant named Goliath.
I see.
Anyway, Surly Company was all that was left, so we deployed 200 strong.
What happened then?
Well, it's a long march from Urbani, sir, and most of us broke down on the way. All said and done, the only ones who made it were me, 113th, and a signal bot we call Primer. The rest are all out there in the dunes, somewhere.
I'm sorry.
War's war, sir. If it didn't crash hard, they wouldn't have built us in the first place.
If it makes you feel any better, Horatio cut Goliath's finger off.
Well, sir, someone ought to stick a medal on your chest.
How can I have it? Prime wants one. So Horus probably was a part of a company that was trying to attack the city. He maybe even was in a ship that was shot down by Goliath. That's why Goliath said Horus is his old enemy.
Why are you in line?
Seeing as how I'm on the outside now, sir, I figured I had to go pay restitution for shooting up the enemy HQ.
Enemy HQ?
Yes, sir. That big tower in the center of the city.
Okay, so why haven't you paid? It sounds like all of this happened a long time ago.
Years ago, sir. But the courthouse has been locked down the whole time. I figured they'll open it up eventually, and then I can clear my name.
What if it doesn't open?
Well, sir, I know all about hurry up and wait.
Can I try opening that door?
Belay that, sir. The authorities told me that no one goes in till the door opens on its own.
But aren't we on the same side?
Affirmative, sir. But since I'm on CivDiv now, my programming requires me to submit to the local authorities.
What happened to 113th and Primer?
After we got to Metropol, we tried to put up a fight, but couldn't do much. They fried 113th, and my rifles jammed. Primer surrendered on our behalf. After dressing us down, they took all my big guns and sold the 113th shell to some scrap dealer. Primer never was the same. He encrypted part of his own logic so he wouldn't have to think about losing the war any longer. Then, he disappeared beneath the city. And me, I came here.
How did the war end?
For Surly Company, it ended when we staggered in here and surrendered. Beyond that, sir, it's all above my pay grade. Truth is, sir, we never even knew what we were fighting for, let alone what the Metropolitans wanted. So I can't say for certain that Metropol won, but I'm pretty sure Urbani lost, what with all the civilians being dead and the army being beaten.
How do you know you even have to pay something?
This seems logical, sir.
What if I could pay your fine for you, or get it cancelled?
Well, sir, then I'd be much obliged, and I'd probably just leave town. Can't say that I'd much like being in enemy territory.
And how are we gonna do that, boss?
I'll figure something out. I inspected the damage. All you did was ding the metal.
Well, sir, until someone shows me the law that says I don't have to pay, I'd rather be safe than sorry.
I met Primer.
You still crazy?
Yep.
Well, so it goes.
Goodbye.
Over and out, sir.
Okay. So there's all this information and probably questions which these guys give me. Yeah, Rex lost it, so I have to think on that.
The legal dispute between Oswald and Cornelius factor built.
An 18-7. Alright, that's for the next time.